Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV 348, Sling, Roku.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Liberate Michigan, liberate Virginia. On April 17th, he retweeted the slogans of right-wing protesters that are blocking access to hospitals and trying to overthrow public health orders in those states. And you snapped to attention on April 27th. You designated a prosecutor to try to bring down those very public health orders in Michigan and Virginia. 2 days later, armed right-wing protesters and white supremacists disrupted the Michigan legislature, leveling death threats against Governor Whitmer, confronting police, taunting lawmakers, and forcing the legislature to shut down as they brandished their long guns and shouted in the faces of police officers. But you didn't send in a secret paramilitary police force on horseback to unleash tear gas, pepper spray, billy clubs, and rubber bullets against these protesters storming the state capitol in Michigan. No, you embraced their cause by joining litigation against the governors of Michigan and Virginia. Now, of course, your side lost your motions for emergency injunctions, but you got to spread Trump's message that it was time to call off the stay-at-home orders, the masking and social distancing.
Now, there's so much in there. That's Jamie Raskin, the congressman, telling Bill Barr that he has a record of the litigation he joined against Governor Whitmer of Michigan when white supremacists, when right-wing Nazi-supporting white supremacists went to the Michigan Capitol in Lansing and threatened Governor Whitmer's life, threatened to behead her, threatened to kill her while brandishing weapons. Bill Barr, he didn't see it. I didn't read the tweet. I didn't know. Pramila Jayapal, sorry to screw up her name, but Pramila Jayapal literally read the riot act to Bill Barr about this infiltration of white supremacists that he is extremely tolerant of versus peaceful protesters who he is intolerant of, to the point of using this violent, racist, tactical, militarized, they're not military, they're Border Patrol agents against the mayor of Portland, against city council women, against innocent protesters like moms, like dads with leaf blowers, people with garbage can covers who are out there trying to deflect the non-lethal bullets, the rubber bullets and all, and non-lethal munitions against them, while Bill Barr sits there and does absolutely nothing because he says he doesn't see the president's tweets, although he does, because he said it makes it impossible for him to do his job, and of course doesn't have a television. He lives in Amish country or something. He doesn't have a television. He doesn't have a radio. He doesn't have a YouTube. He doesn't have a computer. He's completely ignorant to the news of the day, is what he claimed yesterday. And Pramila wasn't having any of it.
On two separate occasions, after President Trump tweeted, "Liberate Michigan," to subvert stay-home orders to protect the public health of people in Michigan, protesters swarmed the Michigan Capitol carrying guns, some with swastikas, Confederate flags, and one even with a dark-haired doll with a noose around its neck.
Beautiful.
Are you aware that these protesters called for the governor to be lynched, shot, and beheaded?
No,
No.
You're not aware of that?
I was not aware of it.
Major protests in Michigan. You're the Attorney General. and you didn't know that the protesters called for the governor to be lynched, shot, and beheaded. So obviously you couldn't be concerned about that.
Well, there are a lot of protests around the United States, and on June 1st, I was worried about the District of Columbia, which is federal.
In certain parts of the country, you're very aware of those, but when protesters with guns and swastikas and Confederate flags. Excuse me, Mr. Barr, this is my time, and I control it. You are aware of certain kinds of protesters, but in Michigan, when protesters carry guns and Confederate flags and swastikas and call for the governor of Michigan to be beheaded and shot and lynched, somehow you're not aware of that. Somehow you didn't know about it, so you didn't send federal agents in to do to the president's supporters what you did to the president's protesters. In fact, you didn't put pepper balls on those protesters. So the point I'm trying to make here, Mr. Barr, that I think is very important for the country to understand, is that there is a real discrepancy in how you react as the Attorney General, the top cop in this country, when white men with swastikas storm a government building with guns. There is no need for the president to, quote, activate you because they're getting the president's personal agenda done. But when black people and people of color protest police brutality, systemic racism, and the president's very own lack of response to those critical issues, then you forcibly remove them with armed federal officers, pepper bombs, because they are considered terrorists by the president.
Okay, so now let's have a look-see at who is terrorizing the United States of America. Who is doing actual crime? Antifa has killed 0 people, 0. White supremacists have killed hundreds of people. In fact, the arson that we saw, this is so interesting that, Bill Barr is unaware of all those people in Michigan with swastikas and with white supremacist, T-shirts and storming into the capital of Michigan to threaten to kill the governor. Didn't know anything about it. No, wasn't aware of it. That was his testimony. He's not aware of it. But he was very aware of arson in Minneapolis after George Floyd's death. He was very aware of graffiti on a courthouse in Portland. So offended by graffiti on the courthouse in Portland that he had to dispatch a tactical unit of Border Patrol, a violent tactical unit of Border Patrol that were shooting people in the face with non-lethal munitions, unidentified, in camo, but unaware of what was going on in Michigan, and also seemingly unaware of the infiltration of Black Lives Matters protests by white supremacists. Case in point, you remember this video of this strange dude in Minneapolis at an AutoZone who was banging on the AutoZone windows with a sledgehammer or a claw hammer while holding an umbrella and dressed all in black like an Antifa guy? Remember this right here? Remember this little video? Dude.
Oh, I zoomed in. I'll zoom out a little bit. Those cops will come for you if you're pulling that crap.
Who are you? Remember that guy? Okay, we'll continue. That guy, we now know who that guy is. That guy has a name. That guy is not a protester.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America. Radio